is already, you can. So we have like the squares. Oh, we're live! It's the website one meeting. Woo! We're just talking about usability for Hangouts. But yeah, the squares at the bottom of the Hangout, like showing all the different faces, you can click on them to focus on a different one. And
yeah,
you can kind of, if you click it enough, I forget if it's a double click or what it is. It's a single click, isn't it? Yeah, it locks. It gets like a white border, and then it locks onto that person. And then if you click it again, the lock goes away, and then it will move with the audio. Does that make sense? I mean, maybe you knew that already.
Yeah, I was going to say
to see the focus, to know that you should click on that person again. That was before. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe that makes sense. Maybe it just didn't make sense to me, or like it wasn't obvious to me.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it has some parallels in like that's how some toggles work, but then it's but yeah, I mean, it's not it's one of those things. You know, somebody at some point, the people at Google who were designing the Hangout made it that, and they knew what it was, and it's straightforward to some people, perhaps, certainly not all people. I've had lots of people not know how to do it over the, you know, but once you know it, right? And you can tell someone else about it. So it's, and so maybe that's enough. You know, like, does it have to be completely comprehensible if it's possible for other people to, you know, if you remember it once you learn it? But that's all to do with like learnability versus ease of use, and it's a whole world of stuff. But yes, it's a website one meeting, and we have Matt and Joseph and Matthew and Mike. Yeah. So one of the things we definitely want to do today is sprint planning. Is at the top level. We should plan the sprint that we're having next week. I'm not going to be able to say anything sensible about it until I've had the rest of this coffee. Maybe in the meantime, Matt, with his very advanced jug of coffee, Matt obviously say, if I made one of those in the beginning of the day, I wouldn't have this like scramble just at the end of lunch to get coffee so that I could manage. Matt, tell us, are there things that are bothering you about Website One, or just stuff that needs to be addressed?
I mean, for me, it's mostly about the planning.
It's the planning. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's a perfectly reasonable thing. Is there anything else apart from the planning, or we move on?
Not that I can remember at the moment, but I'll have a look at like the PRs and see if something jogs my memory.
Yeah, cool. Let's check in with Joseph. Yeah, anything? I don't know if you've tried to install Website One. You may never want to install any of our projects again after local support. I wouldn't blame you. But yeah, Joseph, is there anything? Do you have any issues for Website One?
At the moment, I had a problem for
You're breaking up, Joseph.
Is it just me? I think we're having a lot of trouble with Joseph's audio.
I think Joseph's at home today, so maybe his internet.
Yeah, well, maybe he'll come when we come back, or maybe he'll lose his chat. Let's go on to Mike. Mike, did you have any Website One things that you wanted to get addressed?
Not really. Maybe just the issue that I created on last time.
Oh yes, the refactoring.
No, I think he's talking about the issue.
Yeah, and yeah, maybe
okay.
if I meet any other issues, I'll be creating them as we go.
Let's have a little look at that.
To jog your memory, it was about the drop down only having projects that are active or that have events coming up.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's a great feature, and indeed that's something we can sort of maybe prep for working on in the sprint.
Can you hear me?
Just about. Go on, Joseph.
So yeah, I didn't I haven't fixed this problem. The one I had was with Postgres,
Right.
and yeah, I haven't worked on that yet. I'm using Docker. Yeah.
Right. So that's a general. That's like Postgres on OS X working with. Yeah. Yeah, which is weird. I mean, because I have Postgres on OS X working with local support and website 1, but then I haven't installed them from scratch recently. So, okay, yeah. So this is to do this one to do is project sort order. Yes, let's have a look. And Mike not yet able to hear us so well. Is that all of us, Matt and myself included, or just Joseph?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, so Joseph can now hear us. Okay. It is difficult when we have connection issues. I was just going to go to, I guess, I mean, we've got the ongoing issues of like, you know, Airbrake, like cluttering up the issues. We've got the general of performance on the site, which I think is related to events. I mean, you know, these things have to be reassessed occasionally. And then there's also the costs associated with Heroku hosting, but I that's not something we're going to dive into anytime soon, I don't think. Oh, good. But let's have a look. We've got...
Sam, I did remember something that Raul had a question about. I don't know if you need to add it there, but had a question about like who is acting as the clients for Website One, and he's saying he asked who is the client and who's the project manager. And I guess you're the project manager, but I didn't know how to answer who the client is.
Yeah, I mean, that comes from, we had previously had this explicit thing where like I acted as the client and Thomas and Raul acted as the project managers. At the moment, we don't have an explicit.
I mean, I guess, like you were saying, like as far as like what to work on and how to prioritize things, like premium members would be considered clients, right?
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I think that particularly like this concept of the client was the idea that we were doing scrums and sprint cycles where like work would be done over, and then there would be like the client meeting, and I would act as the client, and then it would be presented to me, and then things would be signed off.
Yeah.
I don't know that model is something that we particularly need at the moment. I mean, you know, maybe we do. I'm just looking here. We do seem to have, I guess what I should look at in the website is even if we can't make out much about what's going on in the issues, we can potentially make out what's going on in the pull requests. That's often a sensible place to just do a quick look.
Yeah, there's that. I just restarted the build on that one that's yellow. That one is something that Dan, one of our newest premium mob members, he put in PR for you can see what it's for, the README. And so there shouldn't be anything that he made changes to that's making it fail the build.
Right.
So.
And then we've got this one. Right. So actually that various of you have been working on, which is about updating the card details. I mean, I guess there's ERs, there's that one. Okay. And there's one from Nick and other bits and pieces. Okay. We've got a new one on there. So now we've got all of those. And then do we know who this? Oh, that's Kevin is Champagne Appy. Okay. Right. There we go. That's helpful. Okay, so there's, I mean, the action items, I mean, I was getting quite snappy at doing it over the summer, and I'm really behind now in the heat of the thing, is like review PRs. So that needs doing. I mean, I guess none of these things need necessarily get in the way of the sprint planning per se, and that's, you know, maybe that's where we should start. We've got the sprint happening next week, which starts. Where's my calendar gone?
I have an update for that actually.
Gone.
We're actually starting the sprint on Saturday. We made an executive decision.
Right.
Peter got in contact and said he wants to pair before the weekend collaboration meeting. So we're gonna start this weekend without you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to join.
And so that is in fact on the 13th.
Yeah, that's our soft start.
Yes, I mean the note was I'm, you know, Sam at NHS meeting on the 15th.
Yeah.
So I would, you know, be planning to join. You know, I'll join on the Tuesday, and I guess we've got unlike the previous two sprints we've done, which were both very heavily DevOps focused. I mean, I think we just want to see how much we can get done, and like, you know, see if we can get, you know, lots of new pull requests in. In other contexts, if we imagine hypothetically that we were working, let's say in a large company, and, you know, we were working on the same one single project week in, week out, of which the project itself may have different facets. What one would often do at the start of the sprint is, you know, choose a selection of items from the board in order to, you know, say, right, and people would say, oh, well, I'm going to work on this one, I'm going to work on this one. And, you know, you'd sort of take on like a reasonable amount and then do what you could to try and get the set that was allocated to you by the end of the week. And we sort of did a bit of that, like in the beginning of the local support sprint. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we're all a bit happy-go-lucky, what have you. So it doesn't have to be such a formal structure. I guess what we do have now is we do have the form that people are potentially signing up for the sprint, don't we? So I guess one of the things to do is to take into account what those people are, you know, who's signing up for what and what they want to do. I guess
we have just a quick on that. We have six people have filled out the form, and all 6 of them are really excited about working on a website one. So
okay, right. And have they like posted particular features that they want to work on?
We have 3 people saying find an issue appropriate for me.
Right.
1 person saying find an appropriate issue for me, please.
Right. Okay. So they're just right. Okay. So there's no like we need to. So people just want a. So what I would say is,
but
oh, go on.
Just real quick, 5 out of the 6 have said that they have taken a look at, taken a moment to visit the website one waffle board, so they know where it exists, and potentially between now and the start, we'll have a look, you know, a better look, you know.
Indeed. Yeah. So I was going to say that I think that the key thing really then, in terms of the sprint planning, is that we try and get the board and the issues and the existing pull requests as clean and sorted, and sorted, and so there's kind of like, you know, can we make the install easier? I mean, that's a like long-term goal. Maybe there's some like pull requests, you know, so like
we have
or close. Yeah, you were suggesting that there was like it was easier for maybe Mike to do it the other day, and did we remove something? Did we remove WebKit here, or what did we do?
Yeah, we removed WebKit. Yeah.
Wonderful. So that's so hopefully it will be easier. Merge or close.
Peter's gotten set up on it as well, and he kind of reported back on some comments about it, but
yep.
Didn't report on any issues.
Okay. So I think we lost Mike there. So I guess the thing to do is maybe, I mean, like really the waffle board should be the thing that is kind of allowing us to like manage the sprint, right? Because people in principle will, as they sprint, be taking things off the ready stack and going into the in progress, and then they, you know, need to be sort of being checked. And so, I mean, you can start the sprint with there being a number of things in the please check column, and everybody starts by checking those things, but probably people are more excited about getting started on their own things than they are on checking other things. So it might make sense for us to just work through these 3 that we've got here and see, can we just merge these things in? So, oh, that looks like a, yeah, so there was a thing to make it so that the whole circle was clickable for these different things. Oh, so somebody fixed that. This is Federico opened this a couple of years ago, and we've got to put the associated pull request. Now, I don't know if everybody else can look at the waffle board themselves. You may not get exactly the same view as me. The critical thing in the waffle board is to click this so that you see, oh, right, I've got it there. Yeah, like issues only, like so. Because we have this sort of general rule of thumb that there shouldn't be pull requests unless there's an issue describing what it is that the pull request is fixing. But so the pull request here. Now we've got someone here, LexCorp16, who I don't know immediately. They've come in and they've tried to fix this issue. Let's go and I guess if I click on that there, it will open the actual pull request. And this looks like the kind of thing that should be quite straightforward. I guess our semaphore is failing. Let's go and have a look at the change. Right. So okay, yeah. So we've got a link to learn has been moved out of the read more. Or no, actually, it's still there. It's been placed around the entire circle. So this is one of the ones that we've got with like someone sort of made the change. It hasn't got any tests. Do we want tests? And it's failing the build.
It's failing the RSpec authentication spec.
Oh, really?
OmniAuth authentication for registered users with a Google profile, GitHub profile. Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, and actually, so here, see now this looks like this is failing because can we see details of the failure? Like it's actually got it's a syntax error in this link to what have you.
I know.
Yeah, so that I would imagine is like in principle we could fix this by putting the comma in here and then committing that, and it will restart the build. So that we'll need to come back to it, I think.
Is that the only place though? Because it looks like it's in learn, code, pair, and grow. All have.
Oh right, I was thinking that was a okay. Yeah, no, I will. I was thinking that would that had been dried out, and so that was coming in there. But okay, so in fact, it needs to go in all of those places, doesn't it? So this, we presume this is a change that somebody made locally, pushed it up, but they didn't. I mean, independently of not writing any tests for it locally, and with these, sometimes with these, actually writing a test for this, which would just be sort of a view test, you might argue is a bit redundant. But it seems like they didn't actually run the server locally, which would have, because the site wouldn't have started. But okay, so there we go. So that's that one. So that sort of has to stay there as a please check until we can review it further.
Sorry, there's I was at the talk that I was at. They were talking about how you can configure like Git hooks so that it runs the tests associated with any changes that have been made that you've made locally, which would be really cool to be able to do and share with people, I think, because that would be the type of thing that it would catch, I would imagine.
You mean set it up so that when you do the git commit, it would run the tests locally for you? Yeah, that's I mean, I'm working on some other projects. There's one when you run the tests, it also lints the code base. for you
Oh, nice.
and fixes all of those things. So that would be a lovely thing to set up. Do add any and all of those as issues in GitHub, and they'll get into the backlog. And maybe we can get them, because obviously there's a lot of different ways to roll these things. Would be great to get that down. Yeah, so going on to
we kind of said that we were waiting to hear back from Elizabeth to see if she was interested in learning about filtering out those details that are in the VCR cassettes, that sensitive data, and that if she hadn't gotten back to us by the start of the sprint, that we would just do it.
Yeah, okay. So this is and right, so we'll leave that one there. Basically there's going to be help wanted on this one.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So maybe they are all things that will end up. And then we've got this one from Nick, which I think is fine and just needs me to run some stuff when I deploy it. So that's on me to sort that out. Okay. So I think the please check ones are in there justifiably. Shall we carry on going through the in progress column? Is there do people want to comment on any of the please check things or suggest a different approach for the meeting? Or
I guess an action item for me is I've made a couple notes about refactorings that need to be done so we can have some beginner friendly issues for people to work on that I realize is not so helpful on my piece of paper here and would be more helpful in actually creating the issues.
Yeah, but the piece of paper is a great start. So yeah, I'm just throwing in here so the auto lint when committing run related tests when committing would be great to have git commit hooks.
Are these things that though the way I understood it is stuff that you would need to set on your your local Git hooks, and then we could share with people what they can do if they want to.
Maybe.
Okay.
Well, and that's the kind of information I think you want to put in the ticket, and then links to that stuff, and then there's maybe various ways to do it. So yeah, maybe we have people to get set up locally, or maybe it can be. I mean, in the other project that I'm in, the linting is set so that it's just you run that when the unit tests run, it automatically lints. So you could be having it. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, so we've got here Docker Postgre issue on OS X. This was me back in the day for trying to run this.
That should be closed. I think I might even have.
So that should be closed. That is, we think.
I mean, I guess let's make sure that I put what the fix was there, so if somebody finds it in the future. Okay. Well, I gave them.
So you've got a discussion of there, but so presumably there is. I mean, there's a.
Yeah.
This commit from Daniel.
Yeah.
There, which is that pull. So this pull request will fix this, will it?
It'll fix the documentation so people know. Yeah. So he actually I think he added the document and the Postgres username and password in the documentation, so that if people do just copy and paste from that README without getting in contact with us, then it'll work.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Interesting. Well, let's merge that in, and so we've got a thing for that, and yeah, I don't want to start running Docker boxes right now. So let's and that went green. So let's merge that in, and then hopefully that will take that out of. That's interesting. See that? Yeah. Oh, is it moving? Oh, there it was in real time. Did you see? It was still in the progress column. Now it's gone to the done column. Yay! Okay, so then this is the thing I was working on with Nick, and we'll probably work on it again tomorrow. and yeah, some interesting questions about the RSpec stuff there. So that's kind of that's in progress. Definitely help wanted if people want to come and like help. Like that, we're on this one. We're kind of up against, like, we seem to be in the situation where we are writing a test to check for emails when there's more than one email going out. So I've opened, and I wonder, has it got, even though that was my thing. I mean, I mentioned this because I feel like we're not so pressed for time. I don't have the RSpec. So I'd opened an RSpec, if I can find it, GitHub. This is like a kind of an interesting RSpec little challenge. It was there, and oh, you did the wrong thing. And RSpec GitHub, there, feature request. So I opened a feature request actually on RSpec Rails about being able to kind of, so like we already have lots of RSpec tests that check, for example, that the first email in the deliveries queue has a subject and a body, you know, set up appropriately. So much so not very surprising or controversial. But now we're writing tests where there are more than one email going out, and we want to check that, like that at least one of those emails has all of the properties. Like if we check that, you know, if we loop through the list and we check that at least one has the subject and at least one has the body, there's always a danger, right, that the subject and the bodies are mixed up. I mean, it's sort of a silly corner case, but it feels like you should be able to, you know, use some of these more advanced RSpec matches, like an object having attributes, and check that the list of, you know, one of the emails has the appropriate set of matching properties. I don't know if that makes sense, but so they've kind of oh, okay, so that looks like maybe this person has like answered it by using the kind of like and things. Ooh,
Wow.
right,
That's high.
that's cool.
It's advanced.
And then, cool. So it looks like we may have an answer to that there, which is cool. So I wanted to put this link into here to say this is, so it's in there. We're exploring.
I noticed we have Mike and Joseph are leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back.
Unfortunately.
Internet issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, the testing of emails. Yeah. Oh gosh, my computer is my fans are on. My computer is running very slowly there. I wonder if that's just waffle. I guess I need to go and like shut down some other things. Let me just get my activity monitor up. How do I do that again? Have I got something? What is taking up all my CPUs? It's the Windows server. What does it even mean? The CPU load doesn't look too high. Oh, maybe it's just waffle. Oh well. Okay, so that's good. I don't know, what does that even? Hi, we're introducing. What's this? I don't know what that means. Go away. Right.
It's Adam. Don't say
Adam saying it's like clearly a friendly, you know, human typing it out. So then we've got ensure. So this is the one. So ensure paying users can navigate to place to update their card details. This is the one we were talking about in the Scrum the other day, and it's the one where the test coverage went down ever so slightly, and then we were talking about whether we should or shouldn't be removing that legacy end link. So that broken there, that is that test thing here. So did we agree that probably just the quick fix is to like put back in that old functionality?
Yeah, I guess I'm trying to like maybe I'm getting stuck on the choice of words. Agree. Like I understand. I understand what your point is. Yes.
Yes, and you disagree with it, and so
Well, I mean,
well, you can push it on. Go on.
I'm not sure I would agree with that either. I think like we could potentially explore it longer, but I'm not sure it's worth spending the time doing that. You know?
No, I don't think there's any more time. It's not worth like debating back and forth which is the appropriate approach. I guess it then comes down to who's going to like do anything to move it forward. So it's like,
well, I think like what Mike was saying in the scrum this morning was that he understood what you said and was going to revert the changes back to where we have that link.
oh, wonderful. That's great.
That's what I understood. I don't know if Mike, you can understand what I'm saying. If you can.
Oh, and Mike's saying he reverted the changes, and was that are they pushed up? Maybe is so Mike's reverted the changes and is running tests locally. Okay, yeah, we'll look forward to that one there. Fantastic. Thanks so much, Mike. Really appreciate it. And then the thing to do is, I mean, let's create a ticket, which maybe will get addressed in the sprint, to potentially remove the bit, you know, that thing. I mean, it's a funny one because it's, you know, we've been putting out URLs to that endpoint, so it's I mean, you know, even if we remove the functionality, we may still need to have the URL endpoint like to then redirect people to somewhere else and so on. So, but anyway.
I mean, that does bring up a question about like whether or not we can accept this this and get it merged in with the current implementation, because you remember that like, or if we need to write tests to make, you know, like duplicate tests to make sure that it's actually updating from the profile, like it's updating the card from the profile in the same way that it's updating it from. I mean, it should, because it's using the same partial. But you had brought that up before.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that well, you know, in the ideal world, the acceptance test would check, like, you know, the full. That's what the acceptance test does. It checks the full flow of it, and it doesn't rely on, oh, yeah, like this, you know, other integration or unit tests or other acceptance tests. So.
Well, like at the moment, so at the moment, the tests like for this particular feature are only checking to see if people can see or not see that button based on who they are.
Right, which is probably why the coverage went down when we removed the other one. So
well, no,
yeah.
sorry. When I say currently, I mean if we revert the changes back to the way they were. Like currently, it's checking to make sure that the update button works from the profile page, because we've removed those tests from the cards page.
So, yeah. So I mean, I don't know about reverting. From my point of view, I'm not following the commit flow. I'm not asking for the changes to be reverted if that changes the test as well. I'm saying just make sure that the old functionality and the old tests covering that are in there. However, we get them in there. You know, and I wouldn't say like roll back the new tests into a sort of like poorer state just because we're rolling back. Anyway.
Yeah, so you're saying like it having, so just to clarify, like we should have like a kind of a duplicate test, but the only difference being the path that the person is going to click on that button.
Yes, in the first instance.
Okay, but then all right, because I guess there's like, yeah, all right, cool. All right, I got it. And if hopefully Mike understood that. If not, I can
look at that separately. Yep. Yeah. Oh, look at that together. I mean, or look at it together on different occasions. So then we've got refactor search by language class method to a scope.
Yeah. This is the one that I've done actually that I just haven't pushed up, but then I noticed.
But look, we've got here mind adding an acceptance criteria here before I fund on Gitcoin. Hope your Hacktober is going well. Right. Wow. We've got somebody willing to write. Gosh. So what's this acceptance criteria? Okay. Like, I think actually we might have a fairly straightforward one, which is the code climate. Like, so where is this? Let's have a look. It's about refactoring. This one did code climate complain about that originally? No. Okay.
This originated with me doing my homework for CS 169 2x. And then we have a scope. at the top where we do something similar. Is it that active one? Yeah, I think maybe it is. Just
yeah. So it's like, well, okay. So then, here we go. So let's put in here, and we could say, thanks, BS77BB. The acceptance. See what seems so ridiculous that is like other things moving fast along. Like typing into waffle there is being quite so slow for this task. Oh gosh, is replacing now what is the name of the method? Replacing the search by language method with a scope and all the tests still passing. Okay, I'm going to put that comment in, but I'm going to open this up into this. I mean, waffle, it's such a lovely idea if only it was like performant. Anyway, but see here, like same computer, same load. The search by language method with a scope, and then see, and it like that must be like waffle slowness, right? I mean, it's in another tab in the same browser in GitHub, and I can just type perfectly normally. But in the waffle tab, it just like there's like a half a second delay before the characters. You know what I mean?
Yes. I don't know if it's interesting for you, but eventually.
Interesting for you. You've got a waffle accelerator, have you?
Oh, I was just going to show you the implementation for that.
Oh, right. There we go. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, well, I guess we've also got like we've got this thing here where it was created and there was no description. Yeah. Like, shall we just pop in a thing here which is like, is it, and like scopes are more flexible than class methods.
Yeah. And they're lazier as well, I was reading about.
And lazier. Cool. So then I always like, unlike in local support where I accept lack of description, I was thinking GitHub pull request, it's great to have the description. Anyway, but so now, there we go. Yeah, present search by language method with a scope, and then it's still passing. Example of scope. There we go. I think we have. So hopefully, if you've done it, Matt, careful because someone else will get in there fast. Hopefully there'll be some like funding thing in, and you can get some Ethereum out of this. So that would be cool, wouldn't it?
The Ethereum I thought the Ethereum went to Agile Ventures.
No, I think it goes to you.
Oh really? Well, I'm gonna just push up then.
I mean, I don't know. It's not going to be very much Ethereum, but well, I don't know. I mean, hopefully you can remember us when you're on your yacht. So, made out of Ethereum, sailing around the world. So that's there in progress. That's fine. We've got other in progress. Adjusting what gets shown on the event page when event is live. Yeah, that's a great one. That's in there. It's in progress. It's not assigned to anybody, but
that was one that I think that was merged in, was it not? Wasn't that but we have a refactoring to put it in the right place? Tanita put in
was there something merged in? So was that something that just didn't get linked?
I think so.
Well, I thought we had a new thing. It's still not in the same location as where the orange button was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We have a refactor where it's been merged in, and
but it has been merged in. Yeah, right. And has it been deployed?
Yes, it's on the site. The production. Agile,
right, but it's I'm saying it's there, but it's not up. I thought we were all talking about. So it's been all right. It's been moved, but it's not quite made it all the way up to being next to the event actions button.
Correct.
So right. So this one then can we work out which pull request it was that fixed this?
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can move on to the next thing, and I can find it for you.
Oh yeah, no. If you could find it and like, well, I guess yeah,
It's-
because if it's already closed, it's not going to change. So what I'll do is I'll move that up to there. I mean, I guess that but we have the opportunity here to say, actually, it's been partially addressed, but we want to move it further. Should we put it in ready so that then it can be something rather than opening a new ticket?
Yeah,
What do you think?
that makes sense to me.
So this is like, yeah. So if you could like find the other pull request and connect them up so people see the work that's been done, and then I can add a note. Do I have the? Oh, I'm not sure. There. So we're down to here. Matt's on that. There we go. Yes, there. So like, oh, and in fact, we've got this one, T Baraza. So there, right? Merge, change. So it is linked. Maybe I don't know. You just linked that, but it is linked.
Yeah.
So like, this is a great progress from T. We're now looking to get the live. It's live now button, isn't it? Live now button moved all the way to next to the event details control. Okay, yeah. So that's now there. That could be worked on as part of the thing. So then we've got, right, the project index page redesign. And so we've merged in two things. We've got the search and we've got the infinite scroll. And so now we've got still, I think that's outstanding from me. We've got another pull request, haven't we, that I haven't dealt with. Isn't that right, Matt? This one.
Yeah.
And so we had a review of this from Roberts, and okay, but there's conflicts that need resolving.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I think we had this conversation before, didn't we?
I think we did. So that's
I'm remembering that.
Yeah, but so
I mean, it's always nice when it's something that's that you can push back on me instead of
well.
Instead of like being,
I like there to be a nice balance of things. Like some of them are on me and some of them are on you. So there's, I guess, but is that the pull request, or that is the pull request? But okay, so and it's kind of, I guess, is there a relation somewhere? Like, I mean, I think this one is maybe not linking to, if we edit and we say this, put this in as like fixes the ticket number for this, which is 797. 797. Yep, that one. And then
I suppose like it would be maybe of a way like that. So I've created like a margin top on the button so that it aligns with the search. But then when you go on mobile, then it's like not aligned. So I think that there's probably a better way of doing that where it is relational.
Right.
Makes sense.
Very possibly. CSS is probably where I'm weakest. So that's the kind of thing I would ask Peter on the weekend. He seems to be much. I get the sense he's actually stronger at CSS than I am, which is not saying much because I'm not very strong at CSS. Yeah, that would be a great. He's clearly fairly competent in the CSS there. So that would be a great one for you to. So now I've got those actually now. So then now that is linked up, and so when that one gets merged, potentially it will actually take that kind of epic off the in progress and move it along. Okay, then we've got this other one, right? So you had this was the GDPR options for GitHub and Google signups, and yes, right. So you were continuing with this OmniAuth thing, and so we did review this, I think maybe last week. Where had this you've done a little bit more on this. Where had this got to? I'm confused.
It was failing the test because they're like they have several open issues on the on their site, on their repo, about it being difficult to mock the anything
Right.
besides the OmniAuth auth. And
Okay.
but it seems like it's working. Like the implementation seems like it's working.
Okay.
But that's that. I mean, I guess I wrote that to see if that's what you were noticing, that the params were persisting to the database.
Yeah, so I think this is one where we looked at, and this is, yeah, I should maybe run this locally and review it. Yes. Okay.
There's a couple I think I had mentioned as well. Like I posted links to some people that have like created issues that have some workarounds that could possibly work in our case, but it wasn't something as simple as just like taking their fix and just
Yes.
copying it over and it just worked.
Right. I'm just. Oh, and yeah. Well, and this is these are things that I mean, I think sensibly, what I might well be doing as part of the sprints is, I mean, obviously I'll be called on to sort of pair with people and so on, but sensibly I'll be making sure that as many of these things where I'm kind of the blocker, it gets dealt with. I'm just carrying on down here. We've got like this one, add Google Analytics user ID tracking. I think that there was a pull request that went in on that I merged the other day, and I guess I just do user ID. That was the old one that didn't work. Okay, this one. So this
has 3,000, not 4,000.
Yes, 3,000. There you go. I got the numbers wrong. But so this one, yeah, didn't have. See, what would be outstanding would be. The problem is that like everybody coming in doesn't realize this formatting with the linking up and this, that, and the other. Again, like I put before about this like Stack Overflow thing, that if like that it would sort of step you through. It's like you're saying, oh, I'm interested in working on this, and then it would sort of like create the prototypical pull request for you, like, and then you would like pull that down locally. Do you know what I mean? So the pull request was already open and it already had like these things connected up properly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would be outstanding. But anyway, so that puts that into there. So that one has been merged. So let's, I mean, I don't know if it's actually working, and just, well, whatever. There's this kind of idea here that we can get more fine-grained user tracking from Google Analytics, and there was like, this was a thing like that 9 months ago. Federico and Lara in marketing were keen on getting this thing, and they put in a pull request for it, and it came through, and then it didn't work. And now Stuart thinks he's fixed it, but Federico and Lara are both not as engaged in marketing as they were, and we'll see. It comes around. So there's the remove the Mercury thing. Yeah, that's a ongoing one. Private events for premium members. Right. So that one we merged. That's interesting. We merged a thing and pushed it out, and it didn't seem to have the effect that we were hoping, which was slightly surprising. Did we open a new ticket to like manage that pane?
That's here.
Okay.
Can't see me. Sorry, it's on my.
You want to move that to the top of the backlog if we've got that? I guess we kind of. Let's just have a quick look. I guess we're also coming up. We're coming out to be out of time for the end of the meeting. We might, by the end of it, be able to get to the end of the backlog. It's not the backlog, the in progress column, and I guess that leaves us with a outstanding of clearing up the backlog better, like preparing for the sprint, if you know what I mean. I'm going to pull that over to done there. What else? And then we've got like 3 epics in there. That one is just so out of date. I think I'm going to take that. And then we've got, yeah, those other ones. Okay, so I'm going to declare the in progress column sort of cleaned up. If we got, I think the track conversions. Okay. Oh, this is for the other side. I think this is for the non-profit site. Okay. Yeah, it's still ready for someone to work on. Project list sort order.
Yeah, that's one that would be nice to do, because it's like in relation to some of the changes that I started making to the project stuff, where
Yeah.
not only can we search based on technology stack, but we can sort it based on like whether it's active or not active.
Right.
I mean,
how recently they had an event and so on. Yeah, go on.
I mean, I guess like we do have like the active projects at the top of, so you'd have to scroll down through several infinite scroll additions to get to inactive projects.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's, but different ways of being able to sort.
Sure. Totally. Yeah. So, well, I think because we've got 15 minutes until our next meeting, haven't we, Matt? So it's probably sensible to take a break there. It's the 10th of the 10th.
Lots of really exciting stuff to talk about in the NHS Wiki meeting.
Of course, as there is every week. But yeah, so I think the key, like we've done sprint planning, and at least the kind of, I think I'm please check and in progress and ready are kind of like in better shape than they were. We've moved some of the stuff out and stuff. It leaves the backlog. So I guess, you know, particularly if you and Peter are starting on Saturday, but the initial, I mean, there's a few things in the ready. In the sprint, ideally what would happen in the sprint is that we will get everything that's in please check and in progress done, and we would, you know, like the estimated and ready wouldn't, these things could all be thrown back into the backlog if we didn't think they were important. What would be great would be if the, you know, this ongoing thing about air brake, if we could get that out there. And then we have got, you know, like tickets and things which would could be voted, like, so on Monday, Matt, I think you're going to have the scrum, and then the first sprint session could be spent on going through the backlog items. Like if you want to ignore the air brake, absolutely fine, but pulling out some of these actual issues and getting them voted and into the estimated, then potentially in priority order in the ready column, and then, you know, people can have at it. Does that all make sense?
Yeah. Although, you know, it would be, as a high level issue, it would be great to just get past those air brake issues, or maybe not get past, but reduce the amount of them, or make.
Yeah. I mean, we've had a couple of rounds. We've had both Nicks, both our Argentinian Nick and American Nick, have been through and like cleared up the air brake things, and then more air brake things keep coming through. So it's kind of like, I don't know if can we adjust the sensitivity of air brake? Can we? I mean, I feel like it's a combination of the performance ones and then other, like, you know, sort of stupid things that like are like little errors being thrown that could be fixed with enough attention in each. Some of them could be nice little refactoring ones for people, but they're often, the error messages are quite difficult to decipher. But there we go. All right. Well, I will see you in the NHS Wiki meeting.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good progress. All right.
Mike, Joseph, are you still there? Have anything to add?
No.
You're not still there? Or are you?
I think. Yeah, I think everything is cool. It's nice to see how actually Waffle works to move things around.
Yeah, so hopefully next week we'll kind of keep coming back to Waffle, and see it update further.
Oh.
All right, good stuff. Bye for now.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Joseph, did you wanted to say? Maybe we were talking the same time.
What?
Did you have anything to add?
No.
Sure. So see you soon.